Greetings, friends, family, and survivors. Yes, that is an air conditioner, and it's the kind that vents out a hose through the window. And I'm really glad we got it. I know the whole West is heating up and the Midwest is heating up, and they're breaking records all over the country. Some records are 100 years old, and we knew it was going to get up to 93 here. And if it's 93 outside, that means it could be over 100 in the trailer, because the sun just sits here and bakes on this thing all day long. So I'll just put that's a flapper that when the thing turns off, it closes just so a bird doesn't fly in there. So that's working really well. We wanted a swamp cooler, and we were going to put in a roof mount that's designed for an RV. They're back ordered, and they're not going to be shipped until the end of July, so that won't do us any good. So I made some changes on the solar system. You see this extension cord right here. What I did is I turned the inverter on the trailer off. Now the DC system and the solar panels, that's all still running. So now the microwave and the 120 volt on the trailer is plugged into this extension cord, and it's number 12, and I had just exactly enough wire to do it. I couldn't have been 1 foot shorter and done it. So I'll show you some changes that we made to make this happen. It's really not bad out here because of the breeze. It cools you off. But inside that trailer, we had a heat spell a while back, and it got to 95 in the trailer. And I said, okay, we're going to have to do something different for sure. So what we did is, sorry about the darkness, the light on. We installed the reliable 24 volt pure sine wave 3000 watt. It's in a hardwire configuration, and this is temporary, but that's a service outlet, and then it just goes right down through the floor and then under the shed and over to the trailer, laying on top of the ground. There's a 300 amp Blue Sea system disconnect, Class T Go Power fuse, and it's hooked into the shunt for the battery monitor. So right now the Magnum is only running this building and the well. The inverter that's running the trailer is right here. We also started to sort out this sub panel, which actually is the main panel. So I've got a 30 amp circuit, number 10 wire all the way to the well. This is going to go to the house, and then this is this building. And the other thing that I was going to do, I may have mentioned before, this junction box goes to the well. So I'm going to get a T-rated switch, which is simply means a 20 amp switch, double pull, double throw, with off in the middle. And what that'll do is when the switch is up, the well will run on the Magnum inverter, off is in the middle, and then when the switch is down, the well will run on the reliable inverter. And that way, if anything goes wrong with the Magnum, we'll at least have water. And that was the reason for having two inverters in the first place. So this thing's been running the air conditioner for 3 or 4 hours, and it's not warm. In fact, it's cool to the touch. Almost the same temperature as the wall, which is in the 70s, I think. Yeah, the batteries in this, the Tesla batteries are sitting at 73.2, and they've been full all day, and the solar 2400 watts has been managing the loads all day long. Yesterday, Carol was doing laundry for about 4 hours. So that's running the washer. I think she used the clothesline. I don't think she used the dryer yesterday. But the well's running and the washing machine was going and the air conditioner was running and the batteries stayed full the whole time. So 2400 watts is handling that load pretty well. So Carol actually sent me out here to make some ice. And we made ice all day long yesterday as well. And 2400 watts just handles it beautifully. The other thing that we did today, this morning before it got hot, is, this half shack was just set up as a place to park our little 11-foot camp trailer next to while we were doing the fence. And it had a porta potty closet there and a shower over there. Well, we tore the partition wall down and took the doors down and disassembled them, and then threw up some shelves for Carol for some horse supplies. And I still need to close it in up here, but I'm going to have to cut some holes through the wall because I need to put collar ties, which will make like a modified truss going over to the rafters on the other side when I build the other roof. And I'll do every other rafter. Put a collar tie across the top. And so it's not, I think that is not a real heat because it's getting the temperature of the wall behind it. It's actually about 88 outside right now, so that's not very accurate. I am still quite amazed at how much power solar panels actually produce. It's pretty amazing. So that's a 1400 watt array. They're Canadian solar panels. I paid 41 cents a watt for those panels. That's pretty affordable, isn't it? So it's still truly amazing to me how much you can do with, a small solar system. This is just 2400 watts between these two. It's 210 watts up there, and then the fifth wheel has 500 watts on the roof. But I'm very anxious to get the other 2000 watt array up and running so I could go into winter without having to try to drill holes in the ice. That would be nice. So I've got 2000 watts sitting right there that I'm really wanting to get installed. That solar system from our old chicken coop just keeps working fine. I use that inverter and I run small saws and charge lithium batteries all the time with it. Carol uses it for clippers for the horse. It just keeps on ticking. I pulled the radiator on the truck and tried to flush it out, and I saw enough junk in there that it needed to be rotted out for sure, and that's why it's giving me fits on hot days. So its radiator's in town being rotted out as we speak, and then it should be good to go to haul some more loads over the mountain. But one of the things that we're facing is we ordered the home 7 months ago, and they told us it would be here over 7 months ago. I don't remember exactly when, but they told us it would be here in July, first week of July. And then they emailed us and said it would be the second week of August. And I just got an email and they said it's going to be the third week of September. So I emailed them back and said, look, we're going to be in trouble. You can't push it back one more time and us get it installed this year because of the weather. So we're hoping it gets here by the 20th of September, but that's going to leave the contractor that builds the stem wall and levels it very little time before we get a freeze up. So we're praying and asking the Lord for grace that it actually comes earlier than that, and certainly no later than September 20th. The problem is they can't find building materials to meet their contracts because their suppliers have put them on an allocation So, but I noticed lumber prices are starting to drop, and America is going back to work and things are waking up. So hopefully there will be supplies again soon. But what we're having to do is really think about it. At what point do we punt? And that is prepare the fifth wheel to overwinter in it. Even if they do ship the home on the 20th of September, it could be December before we actually get a notice of completion and actually able to be in the house. I've got to get a wood stove installed. I have to put in the propane tank, an underground line, all of that to be able to heat the home before I dare put any water in the home. So since that's the case, it's possible that we'll be in the fifth wheel trailer till December or mid-December. Well, it gets very cold in October at night, down in the teens. And then by December, mid-January, you're looking at well below zero days in a row. So what do I have to do to be able to overwinter in that trailer? Well, one thing is I need to put a roof on it. So we're thinking about putting a sheet metal roof over the whole trailer. And because of the wind load, it actually has to be built permanent, even though it's only temporary. Wasn't looking forward to that. The other thing is we'll have to put a skirt around the whole thing and then insulate the bottom and the tanks and everything to keep the tanks from freezing up. And then how do we go back to, we really enjoy being able to just hook the trailer to a garden hose and use all the water you want without having to fill the storage tank. How would I work that out in the wintertime? How would I keep that hose bib that's sticking up through the slab there from freezing? And how would I keep the hose from freezing? Now I know they make RV hoses that have heat tape built into them, but that takes a lot of power to run those things. We probably would have enough power to do it, but there's a lot of things to think about. This is a frost-free here, but I couldn't run a hose from here all the way over to there. That would definitely freeze in a heartbeat. And the other hose bib actually is under the house. And so what I'd have to do is, once the house is set, I'd have to put a insulated hose underneath the house out through one of the vents somewhere through the stem wall and over to the trailer. So just a lot of crazy things to try to figure out before winter. And it is what it is. So if you're a mind to pray, we would appreciate it. We know there's people all over the country in tough situations. We know a couple of people that just decided to cancel their contracts with the manufacturer home companies because they were pushed back so far. One couple, they pushed them back 7 months. Oh man, and they had to overwinter last year in their trailer, and they finally just said, you know what, forget it. We'll do something different. And for a lot of those people, the price has gone up 30%. So for us, that would mean the home price, if we hadn't locked it in by paying the whole thing up front in advance, the home could have been as much as $25,000 more. But by the grace of God, we paid the whole thing up front, and so we're locked in by contract for that price. It's just so crazy right now with building prices. But like I said, lumber prices have dropped 22% over the last week, and we've got another 60-some% to go drop to get back to normal. But I think we will. I think America's going to go back to work, and we'll be on to the next challenge. Anyway, that's what's going on with us. We appreciate all of our subscribers, friends, and family very much. We know many of you have been praying for us regularly, and we really appreciate it. The ministry end of it is going well up here, better than we anticipated for sure. And Carol and I are really glad to be here, very thankful to be here. All right, hope everybody's doing well. Have a blessed night.